All right, we now welcome on to Inside TBT, Illinois alumni, but playing for Team Hines this summer, Brandon Paul. BP, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me, man. It's good to see you guys.
Absolutely. And we're going to start off this interview with a very difficult question. We know that Mike LaTulip, your good friend, GM coach, has done an outstanding job with the House of Pain team, but he just couldn't get you. Why is that?
Yeah, no, hats off to him. What he's been doing with this has been amazing. And, I'm very happy for him, very proud of him. And, I told him from the start, he knows I've never played TBT. Honestly, I've never really had interest in playing. I've been a fan of it for years. I've watched it. And last year when they had games in Chicago, I watched it. And I actually was close with playing with Team Hines last year. But I enjoy my summers too much, and I have a strict workout schedule, so I never really wanted to dedicate the time and all that. But this year, obviously, a lot of things have changed, and I had a lot of interest from different teams, including them. But I basically approached it from a business standpoint. I would love to play for Illinois alum team, but unfortunately, they have some good guys, obviously, and I think Malcolm's a great player, and a lot of those guys. I didn't play with any of those guys. I didn't play with any of those guys. Older than all of them, and I told myself I would only play for a team that I thought would give myself the best chance to win. So looking at the rosters, looking at different teams, I was talking with probably 4 other teams. I decided to go with Team Hines because I liked what they were doing, and I felt like it was a great opportunity.
I mean, I absolutely cannot argue, with any of the points that you're making. And I think that I agree in terms of Team Hines has an outstanding chance, maybe the best chance of any team without a bye to take home the grand prize. What do you think separates your squad versus some others?
The team has a lot of dogs, man. A lot of guys that know their role. Gritty, they play hard. All the guys I've either played against or played with at one point in my career. And, they're playing, at high levels in Europe, and, they're not afraid. They have experience too. The bigger thing is they have experience. So, kind of bringing those guys together, it gets me excited to play. This will be my first time, and, I'll see how I like it and all that. But, I'm just excited to play.
I got to tell you, when your basketball career is over, you got to try to be a politician or something. You've had some great, perfect answers to these questions so far. Not saying, hats off to House of Pain, but this is why I'm doing this. So I'm happy to hear these answers, and I'm voting for you when you run for mayor of Chicago.
Yeah. To all the Illini fans out there, they know I dye orange and blue. I wish them the best in the tournament, but it's just a business. It's a business decision. It is what it is.
We haven't really talked to too many quote unquote free agents for TBT. We've talked to a lot of guys that are on established teams that have been on it for a couple years. I'm curious what that actually looks like. You said you had a bunch of teams talking to you. Were they talking to you? Were they talking to your agent? How does that process actually work?
Honestly, for the last 3 years, I had a lot of people reach out to me either via Twitter or Instagram or through a friend. I've had, people text me like, hey, my guy is running this team. I was playing in New York. I go to New York a lot to train. One of my closest friends lives out there. Shout out to Tim Burns. He lives out there, and I'll go out there and play 5-on-5 and stuff. So we were playing, and we had a few NBA guys in the run, and some guy approached me at the gym, was like, yeah, I got this team out of Brooklyn, and I want you to play. And he was smart. He was telling me all my stats and telling me about my career. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? He knows everything. And so it was definitely humbling, and it was cool. But I didn't really know anybody on the roster, and I wasn't really trying to entertain that. And then there was a couple other teams throughout the years, and it was just like I said before. I enjoy my time off. The summer is the only time I have time basically to be with family and friends. Especially if I'm in Europe, for 9 or 10 months. So I enjoy the time. I work out every day, but I'm still around people, whether I'm in Chicago or New York, whatever the case may be. But I feel like this is the time that I could take advantage of the opportunity and play.
So when you say that now is the perfect timing, what kind of goes into that? Is it the pandemic? Did you come home earlier than you anticipated? What makes this the best timing?
Yeah, I don't even know if that's the right wording for it, but I was in the EuroLeague, so that our season ended early, and we ended up losing. We lost a significant amount of money, a couple of checks towards the end of the year, and for 2.5 months, which is the longest I've ever been without touching a basketball, I couldn't play. Like I literally couldn't even work out. I was training. My trainer would come to my apartment, and we'd be doing like strength, speed, and agility, and people would complain. So I couldn't even do it in my apartment. So we would have to wait till it was like nice out to go outside and work out like at the park or something like that, or I would pop over by his place. So all this going on, I'm finally back in the gym, finally being able to get on a normal, routine. I just saw it as an opportunity to kind of get back in shape, because the only way to get actually in shape is to play. Like, you can work out as much as you want until you're blue in the face, but playing, running up and down is what's really going to get you, in shape. And, I felt like this was a good time to do that.
One thing I think that you'll find is a common theme that comes up with guys that we talk to is that exactly what you're saying. The reason, or part of the reason why they play in the TBT, is because it's the best basketball that you can find in the summer, whether it's pickup, whether it's whatever. There's nothing that compares to being in game shape. Mm-hmm. So I think you'll find out that it's exactly what you're thinking. It's not only is it great basketball, but it's exactly what you're saying. I keep saying that, but it's the truth. Like, you're gonna get great basketball time and great basketball workouts just by hooping, and you can't do that anywhere else in the summer, really.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you need that, and it's great. I got my guy Jet Pagliacca, who works out with us here. We train with him every week, and those workouts are great. But he always does a great job of getting a solid group of guys together so we can run 5-on-5, because that's what's really about. That's where you really can work on what you've been working on in the gym. So all the drills and all the shots and stuff, you kind of put that to test when you do 5-on-5 and open gym runs. And, it's so important to get the right amount of guys in there. So it was definitely an opportunity for me to kind of just play, and, I'm excited for it.
Is there are there any other of PAG's guys that are playing in the TBT that you know of? 'Cause he's got obviously, he's got a solid crew. I feel like those are a lot of the guys that the TBT is made for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any specific guys that go like consistent. I mean, Malcolm trains with PAGs. Jamil Wilson trains with PAGs. I know he's playing. I think he's playing again. And there's probably a handful of guys that have worked out for him. But Jeff's got a lot of NBA clients and a lot of guys that play high level in Europe and Asia. So there's probably a handful of guys that are playing in it.
So some people, including myself, are saying that you may just be the best player in TBT this summer. What do you think of a claim like that right there?
I appreciate that. It's very humbling. And, there's a lot of dogs that play in TBT every single year. And to be, considered at the top of that, that's definitely very humbling. I'm definitely just coming into the situation as a chance to compete, get better, play with some guys that, I'm fairly used to, whether I've seen them or I played against them or played with them. And basketball world is such a small world. Everybody out there has ties to somebody else. So I guess I'm going in. I don't want to go in with a lot of pressure or anything like that. I'm just going in to play, have fun, but I'm going to compete and I'm going in to win. So, I'm excited for that.
Are there any guys or teams that you specifically would love to play against, whether it's, I don't know, your former school's team, or I don't know, another alumni team that you might have scored 45 against, any teams like that?
To be quite honest, I was looking at a couple of the rosters, but haven't been really focused on that too much. My main thing was just getting in the best shape that I can right now, working out. I usually work out twice a day, 3 to 4 times a week. And then, I'm in the gym with PAGs every day, and then I go lift 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm trying to get in the best shape. Playing against these guys is going to be fun no matter who it is. There's guys that I don't know, they're going to surprise me. There's guys that I do know that I haven't played against in a while that I'm excited to go against. So I'm just ready for the challenge.
So your first round matchup is with Sideline Cancer, who's a veteran team in TBT. They got some good guys. We actually just spoke with Marcus Keene, who's their point guard, and as you know, he's a scorer. And he said he's ready for the first-round matchup against Team Hines, and he's excited. He knows they're the underdogs, but he's going to bring it. What do you think about that first-round matchup?
I don't think there's any team in TBT that you can take lightly. Like, there's no team that is just like a layup or anything like that. So guys are going to be coming in with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be coming in with a chip on his shoulder. You know, we've got a lot of dogs on our team, but there's a lot of dogs in the whole TBT. So it's just going to be fun. It's going to be great basketball. It's going to be a lot of competition. Guys are going to be, you know, out there to prove themselves. So, you know, I've never been one to take any competition lightly, you know. So it's going to be fun.
Are you the president of the Players Association in Europe?
No, I'm not, man. No, I'm not. I'm part of it, though.
All right, you got to be I'll vote for you for president for the Players Association. Can you come over and run the NBA's Player Association? Chris Paul's doing a good job, but you definitely could get in there and help.
When I was on the Spurs, I was when Danny stepped down from the role as the team spokesman for like the NBPA, they appointed me. So I have a great relationship with the NBPA. I've been on a lot of trips with them, and I've been presented a crazy amount of opportunities through NBPA. So shout out to them. They've been amazing.
I was going to say that politician, I don't think is the right word. You got like the coach speak down though. You know, The coaches are always – they're taking none of the spotlight. They don't want any of the spotlight on them for the success. You know, they don't talk about how hard they work. They're always talking about, you know, the team, what's next, the future. I think that's what you have down is you got the coach speak down.
I appreciate that, man. I feel like I'm not politically correct, and I've been asked about the coaching for years if I want to coach after basketball. Honestly, I don't know if I have the patience to do it, if I'm being completely honest, because I've been around so many different players in my career. I've been around so many different coaches. You know, I had one coach that told me, you know, the first thing that's going to happen if you become a coach is all of a sudden everybody knows more than you. And so when he told me that, I kind of thought about it. I was like, yeah, I can see how people can come off and kind of have that type of mindset. I mean, I love basketball. I don't know if I'm going to be around basketball after I retire or not, probably have my hand in it, but I don't know. It's a long way from now, so we'll see what happens.
If you knew you were going to coach a bunch of Brandon Pauls, then the decision would be easy, right?
Oh, very easy. Very easy. And to be as humble as I can possibly say, very easy.
We're trying to get a headline out of you, and you're just not giving it to us.
Hey, let me tell you something. I've been around I've lived everywhere. I've done, you know, all the research on, you know, how things are going and what people try to get out of people. You guys might catch me slipping. We'll see.
All right, I'm going to ask you a crazy random question. I'm going to try to get the creative juices flowing right here. All right, you've been all over the world, NBA, EuroLeague, everywhere, college basketball. Who is the most, in your opinion, famous person that you have in your phone, in your contacts?
Famous person in my phone? We might have to split this in categories. Are we talking about sports or in general?
Rattle them off. Yeah, we're good with whatever. Basketball related, non-sports related, old, young, Mike LaTulip.
Mike LaTulip, my guy. He's probably at the top of the list. I don't know, man. I mean, I got a lot of players in my phone, a lot of coaches, obviously, a lot of GMs. I got some. So I don't know.
We need names. We need names.
I never think about it like that. That's a good question.
I think I can now safely say that the most famous person in my phone might be Brandon Paul.
You know, I don't like the name. I appreciate that, man, but I don't like the name drop. I don't want.
No, that's good. It's all a test. It's all a test. You're passing. Don't worry.
I don't know, man. I mean, I do know other people though.
You do. You have Tim Duncan in your phone. There you go. Hall of Famer. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, TP, Tony's my guy. I got Manu.
There we go. All right.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys a story. How about that? I'll tell you guys.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect.
Because it's my guy. Tony Parker's unbelievable human being. Great guy. You know, I got a chance to play with him with the Spurs, and I walked in one day, and I was just joking with him. He was on a training table getting treatment, and I was walking by, and they were like, he's like, what's going on, BP? And I stopped and I was like, oh, what's up? You said you're gonna give me the Ferrari? Because he's got a few Ferraris and he would pull up with him. So he was just like, hey, what's up, BP? Good morning. And I was like, oh, you said you was gonna give me the Ferrari? And like it's a joke. So he kind of laughed. He was like, hey, your first dunk, I will let you drive my Ferrari. So literally a few weeks into the season, maybe like a month, I had like 7 dunks. And so I walk in and I was like, man, that's crazy. Tony told me he's gonna give me his Ferrari. I got 7 dunks. I don't have it now. He's like, oh, you got 7 dunks already? I was like, yeah. So he's like, okay, I'll bring it tomorrow and I'll let you drive it. So he brought me one of his Ferraris. And so I basically drove it home and he drove my car home. And so I had it for a week. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So the day before I was going to bring it back, pulling up to the gym, we were doing an autograph signing. So I had to go to the gym and sign a bunch of basketballs and stuff. And he told me when I first got it to watch the light in the front of the like odometer for when you're parking, because it'll tell you when to stop so you don't scrape the front.
Oh.
So, I wasn't paying attention, so I kind of pulled up to the parking spot and I scraped the bottom of the car.
Oh.
I was like, and then like I backed up and it was like,
oh,
I was like, oh my God. The icing on the cake was the next day was literally April 1st. So it was April Fool's.
Oh,
I'm like, and we had a game. So I'm like, shit. So I don't know if I swear on here, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry.
So I text him to kind of make things light. I was like, yo, bro, I got into an accident. I totaled the car. Like, I'm fine, but your car is kind of wrecked. Like, my bad, bro. I'll pay for the damage. Don't worry. And like I said that before I got to the gym. I got to the gym first because I was a rookie. So I pulled up to the gym. I park in my spot. And so he walks in and he was like, BP, I saw my car. I knew you was messing with me because of April Fool's. Like, I wasn't going to, feed into that. And like, we kind of like laughed about it. But then I was just like, yeah. But see, what happened was I actually did scrape the bottom of it just a little bit, And he was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, bro. I'm so sorry. Like, I'll just tell me whatever it is. I'll pay for it. Don't worry. He's like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'll take it in and I'll have my guy check on it. So for like 2 weeks, I was just like, yo, bro, like, let me know what it is. I felt so bad. I was like, just let me know what the damage is and what it is. I'll pay you. So finally, he just comes up to me. He's like, hey, my buddy took care of it. Don't worry about it. I was like, you sure? Like, let me pay for this. Let me give you something. He was like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry. And I was like, man, that's a nice guy right there. Cause I was like scared. I was like, damn, I just scraped Tony Parker's Ferrari. Like, what the hell?
I can't even imagine how bad you felt. Cause when I got a little Ford Fusion and it does the same thing where I scrape the bottom and I pull it back and it's that same feeling. And I feel terrible when that happens to my little red Ford Fusion. I can't even imagine.
Man, it was bad, but that was fun. He's a great guy. Great guy.
I got to ask a good follow-up question. It's got to be, who's been your favorite teammate besides Tony, who let you own a Ferrari for a week?
Who let you damage his Ferrari?
I mean, when I was with the Spurs, I had a lot of great teammates, man. Tony was great. Manu was great. Manu was a big advocate for me. He would sit me down and talk and like let me know things that I could do, to get more playing time and stuff. Danny Green looked out for me. LaMarcus was my guy. Joffrey Laverne, I was real close with him. I still talk to him every other week, Davis, all those guys. And then, I mean, I've had some great teammates, throughout the years in Europe. Like a lot of guys that I stay in contact to, this day. My guys in Istanbul, Bryant Dunston and Deshaun and, Jason Granger, Tyler Honeycutt, rest in peace. I played with Goran Suton, Michigan State grad, Damon Mallet. I just basketball has taken me so many places and made me, so many, friendships that are like, I feel like they're like lifelong. And of course, college, I got a lot of guys from college I still talk to. Obviously, Mike, my boy Joe Burschen. I probably talk to Joe almost every day. Sammy Maniscalco, all these guys, these are my guys.
Yeah, clearly fortunate to have great teammates and great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I know maybe you have a good Coach Pop story, maybe you don't, but you got to have at least a quote from him that you were just like, that is exactly what people say. That's why he is what he is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff with the Spurs is just like family business is family business. So I don't like to tell a lot of like Spurs stories, but
yeah,
I mean, he's just great. Like he really is just great. He comes in and he asks you about your family. I would say this: we played in Chicago my first time, in the United Center as a NBA player, which is surreal. And, first of all, we beat the Bulls twice, which makes me very happy. Single time we beat them by like 45 points. And that's probably my favorite game of my career.
Yeah, not hard to do.
But after the game, I had a lot of people come visit, all my friends, family. And, he went out of his way to come and say hi to them. Like, I didn't ask him to come over. People are like, hey, I want to say. Of course they're saying that. I'm not like trying to buy them. He literally just came up to me, put his arm around. He's like, hey, Brandon, these are your people. He went and shook hands and said hi to every single one of my people. And I had a lot of people there. It's a Chicago game. So, the fact that he just did that, out of the kindness of his heart was just a testament to, the type of person he is.
I think I just figured something out about you. All right. I think you were crazy, off the rails, throwing headlines out there, and you get to San Antonio, and your first day, Coach Pop goes, all right, hand in your personality, hand it all in. You don't get to be fun anymore. You're a Spur.
No, they do their research, man. They're not letting just anybody join the club. So, obviously I had my fun in college. I had a lot of times at Cam's. Shout out to Cam. But I've always been I just try to take a professional stance on everything. Obviously I have fun with my friends and everything. Go out, have a drink, whatever. But anywhere I go, you guys always think someone's always watching, and that's what I try to tell like the young kids. You can have your fun. So I tell the young kids when they go to big colleges, because it's different, especially kids that grew up like with strict parents. You go to college and you can basically do whatever you want. So you got to be able to to manage everything.
I want to bring it back.
Andrew knew that before he got to Mizzou.
Say what?
I said if only Andrew knew that before he got to Mizzou.
Yeah, I went to Mizzou, so I'm a big Marcus Denman fan, your teammate for this summer. And he actually didn't text us back, so you got to give him a little nudge or something when you see him in Columbus.
I play with in China. I play with him in China. I left the Spurs. Yeah. We took our team to the playoffs. It's the first time that they made the playoffs, and we I don't know first time they made the playoffs, but it was the first playoff win. So we did get a playoff win for them and everything. So
I think people are calling that team the best backcourt in the history of China.
Come on.
In all seriousness, is playing basketball in China as fun as it looks?
It's very fun. It's very fun. And when you get to a good situation, like I was with the Golden Bulls, and they were very professional, very nice team. Unfortunately, not many guys spoke English. Like we had a translator, which was great. But a lot of Chinese teams, they have either foreign coaches or the Chinese players all speak English. My team, like there was very little. They could like hold like a conversation for a short time, but like none of the coaches spoke English. I think we had one Croatian coach. Shout out to him. But we had a translator. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun out there. I had a lot of fun. They were great teammates. They treated me very well, very professional. And I almost went back. I was going to sign again. And I decided to take the step, go back to EuroLeague.
So a lot of people who play in TBT use it as kind of like a quote-unquote showcase for either their next contract, or maybe they want to move from one league to a higher league. Do you view it like that at all for this summer?
Not really, because like I said, like I've always been a fan of the tournament, and I never thought that I was above the tournament. I just didn't have any interest in playing. Like, to take that time off, I enjoy time with my friends. I enjoy going out, and I travel a lot too in the summertime. So I just never really wanted to do that. And I'm taking it as this just to go and compete. I'm not worried about my future. I'm gonna get a job wherever I feel most comfortable getting a job. So it could help it for sure, but that's not necessarily like the reason I'm playing.
So I wanted to go ahead and congratulate Team Hines on making it all the way to the round of 24. You guys have dominated so far, made it to the round of 24. So even if you guys lose first round, you still made it to the round of 24, which is very impressive.
That's nothing, it's nothing to spit at. So it's definitely a nice team.
Some people, including us, are calling. So do you know about Overseas Elite? They're kind of the wooden
4 times.
Yeah, they're the wooden years UCLA of TBT.
Yeah.
So some people are saying that Team Hines is if Overseas Elite is full package A, then Team Hines is full package B. One's coached by Chris Pratt, the other Billy Welcome.
Steve Pratt.
Or Steve Pratt. What did I say? Chris Pratt. That's the
Avenger.
Yeah.
Steve Pratt.
One's coached by Steve Pratt, the other Billy Welcome. So have you looked at the rosters, either Overseas Elite or any of the other teams? Because there's some good players in the league this year.
No, I have. I took a glance. Honestly, I would say probably the week leading up, I'm going to do more, research. I'm going to look at all the rosters, especially our roster, look at guys' stats, see what guys' strengths and weaknesses are, who can shoot the three, who you need to foul at the end of the game. Like I'm going to be doing all that every team that we play, because I'm coming in to win, right? And I'm probably gonna take notes and share it with my team, let them know, this guy, if it comes down to a foul, he's a 52% free throw shooter. This guy, run him off the line. He's shooting 40 from his career. This dude, he likes his step back. If he goes left, he's stepping back. If he goes right, he's going to the bucket. He's not passing the ball. Stuff like that. So
I gotta throw a wrench in what you're saying right now. You're talking a lot about fouling at the end of the game. Do you know about the Elam ending?
Just scouting in general. Just scouting.
Well, but do you know about the Elam ending that's in TBT?
What is it now? I probably should brush up on the rules.
Andrew, you want to explain it this time?
Yeah, I'll explain it. So for starters, did you watch the NBA All-Star game this year?
Yeah.
So you know how when the clock got to the first whistle under 4 minutes, it was actually just for the whole fourth quarter for the NBA. But basically what TBT does, the first whistle under 4 minutes, they add 8 points to the winning team's score, and that's the target score that the teams are playing to. So it essentially becomes like a pickup game to that score. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you guys have 92 and the other team has 90, when that first whistle under the 4 minutes happens, it's first to 100. So, it eliminates the fouling to get the ball back. It eliminates so basically –
there's fouling as part of the strategy. It's just not the same.
It's different. It's different.
Right. That makes sense. I get it.
Do you think you're capable of scoring all 8 points in the Elam ending?
Absolutely.
I can't believe you didn't say if that's what my team needs me to do. That's
I thought you were going to say if my teammates are hot.
Yes, but that short answer, yes. Long answer, if that's what my team needs me to do.
All right, so headline, Brandon Paul says no one else will touch the ball in the Elam ending.
That's funny.
I have a question, and I probably need to stop saying I have a question because you can tell that we're asking questions.
That's what the point of this is we ask him questions, Andrew. So,
have you ever been given the nickname the oil spill?
No, I don't even know what that means.
Well, because BP, remember BP had the big oil spill?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because your defender slip.
You make your defender slip, and you're hopefully infecting your whole team when you get hot, like the oil. So I think the announcers for TBT this summer need to be like, Brandon Paul hits another three. The oil spill is on fire. And that just sounds like a crazy thing going on. But I think we're gonna start calling you the oil spill.
I don't know how I feel about that. I might have to sleep on that and see how I feel about that.
Andrew, when you phrase it as the oil spill is on fire, that doesn't sound very good. That sounds like something that's kind of bad for the environment. Like I don't know how I feel about
it. But
oil spill is on fire.
But tarantulas are bad, and Durant's the tarantula. They kill people.
He doesn't even count. He can't even pick a nickname. The best nickname he could have. And Brandon, you tell me what you think. The Slim Reaper that's an all-time nickname. And he just doesn't want it.
Durant's I just call him the ultimate walking bucket. Like he's hands down the hardest person I had to guard in my career. Like he's just there's really nothing you can do. You can just only hope to contain and that he missed shots because he can get a shot off on anyone at any time.
That's a very Brandon Paul answer because usually people are like, you wouldn't believe it, but Manu Ginobili is the hardest guy I've ever had to guard. Or you wouldn't believe it, but Clint Capella is the hardest guy I've ever had to guard. But, of course, Brandon Paul picks the 7-time scoring leader. Kevin Durant is the hardest guy he's ever had to guard.
I take that. I think he's probably the most gifted offensive player right now. You know, him and James Harden, you can debate. But as far as guarding somebody, Kawhi was definitely my hardest matchup because I was having to go against him when he was basically rehabbing, and so we play like 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, and coach would make me pick him up like full court and guard him and stuff like. And he's so strong and gets to his spots on the floor. And I was fouling. I was getting into a coach was like fouling him, move him around. I want to see where his body's at, make sure he's okay to play.
So it sounds like you're the reason he wanted to leave San Antonio.
I beat him up a lot, so he didn't want any part of that again.
When he's playing, does he say a single word?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just the media. That's what the media does. Just like what they're doing now with everything going on. They want to put a certain thing out there. Like, not everybody is, you know, outspoken like that. He still talk. He come in the locker room, talk to everybody. If I was him, I'd be annoyed too. Like, everyone always asking me, like, "Oh, why don't you talk? Why don't you laugh?" Like, dude, just leave me alone. Like, there's times I want to be left alone. You know, everyone's different.
Was there anything that you did that you were like, if I took a picture of this and tweeted it, people would be like, "That is so typical Kawhi"?
Nah, I really can't think of anything.
Like, you saw that one, I think this was fake, but like he was walking around with a bag of apples. You've seen that, right?
I've never seen that. What's that?
Andrew, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, there's some picture of him walking around with a bag of apples and like he's eating one of the apples and people are like, "Oh my God, Kawhi would love apples." You know, it's just like
what does that even mean?
I don't know, but I'll find it. I'll send it to you guys. It's
right.
Pretty funny. It's just like basically what I'm saying is what you're saying. People are just like trying to create this persona around him, like that he's just so like I don't know, boring. Like, I guess, you know, like there's not, like he's a robot. It's like, oh my God, Kawhi eats apples. Robots don't eat apples. You know. I don't know.
Kawhi's a good dude, man. He's a funny guy.
Can we get back to
that apple thing is worse than the oil spill joke. I think that's worse.
Well, when I send you all right, keep going. I'll look it up.
BP, or I won't call you oil spill. I'll call you BP. So, do you have any go-to moves that you learned this year overseas or that you've been practicing that you're going to unleash for the first time on national television in the TBT?
Well, why would I tell you that if I do? Because now guys are going to scout it, and I'm not.
Well, you don't have to tell me the move. You could tell me if you have something that you're hiding that you're ready to show the world.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I got some that, you know, not a lot of players possess, and I like to use it to my advantage. So I'll definitely bring it out.
I hate to interrupt everyone, but I found it. And it's a tweet that says, "While with the Spurs, Kawhi was known for his love of red apples. One time after practice, everyone decided to go out for a team dinner. When it was his turn to order, Kawhi waved off the waiter and instead pulled out a bag of 12 apples. Coach Popovich asked what he was doing, and Kawhi simply replied, 'Apple time, apple time.'"
That is.
And then he ate all 12 apples.
That is, there's no way that's actually. That is funny. That is funny.
Apple time, apple time.
Apple time, apple time. It does say later on, like on the thread, like that it was all fake. But like the caption is a screenshot of that, and the caption to the tweet is, "Damn, Kawhi really is a different dude," which is exactly what I'm saying. Like, people are just trying to. I don't know.
Everybody's different, dude. You can talk. You can bring up anybody in the league. It's just what they put out there, right? It's just what they want, you know, to put out there.
Nobody else is eating 12 apples for dinner, though.
All right, Brandon, Paul, BP, this has been awesome. Any not last words, that sounds weird, but any final statements before we let you go here?
No, I mean, I just appreciate you guys having me on. I might pick a guy's brain. I want to start my own podcast eventually, so I might pick a guy's brain later on that. But, you know, I wish everybody the best of luck. I hope everyone stays healthy through, you know, TBT, you know, and everyone stay woke to everything that's going on right now, you know. Stay woke what's going on in the world, racial injustice and everything.
For sure.
Keep your mind on that, you know, even if NBA comes back or not. Don't forget about the big picture.
Absolutely. Great closing statement. I do also want to let you know, if you can guarantee Tony Parker as a guest, I will happily be the producer for your podcast.
For sure. I appreciate that, man.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Take care.